Hiya guys, Spectre here. Welcome back to some more Total Warhammer 3. This is about the secrets of the Norscan explorer. So if you're wanting to explore the world in a campaign, probably the best faction to do it with is probably Norsca. I'll explain why throughout the video. I'm just going to raise this point first. As of speaking at the moment, I think I'm at about 290 subscribers. Still 95.7% of people aren't subscribed. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. If even half of you hit the sub button, I'd be well over 3,000 subscribers, and that's just half. And I only need to get over 1,000 to get on the YouTube partner program. So if you can just help me get there, please hit that sub button. I would really appreciate it. Thanks guys, and now let's get into the video. So in Norsca, good strong faction anyway, stronger than what they were in Warhammer 2. In Warhammer 2 they could only really do sacking though. That was their main source because they didn't really have any way to do like your income stuff. You can't really, I suppose, settle a massive amount because you need to do stuff for your gods, although you have got a lot of suitable climates, in all honesty. The only one that's not is the ocean, which you may need to occupy one of those, but we'll get into that in a second. Now, as with every sacking faction, you need to have at least one city, and that's basically, it's a recruiting station. You need to be able to recruit your best units so you can get access to them, so you need to hold at least one city down somewhere. So if you're going to keep this one, what it might be better off doing is, when you've got the money, have your main army, Wolfric, go off exploring the world, have the second army defending. They're not moving, they're just defending their province. So probably this and Trollfjord, you just can defend here. You're not looking to take on everybody else, you're just looking to defend. They'll have a decent army, but you're looking to defend. And then we'll get into certain things that you can do with the Norscans and why they're really good at it. Obviously with Throg it's different, because with Throg I think his main army is immune to all attrition anyway, which is insane. But like, we'll get onto this here. You've got longer hulls, so immune to high seas attrition is always a good start. And then income from sacking settlements, 10%. And then you get more campaign movement range. This one is where things start to get a little bit interesting, because you can do your sacking, but you can also make a tremendous amount of money from post-battle loot. So you've got 10% there on Champions of War. If you go down to Greenskins, if you occupy Black Crag, which may sound like that's hard to do, but it's actually not. Income post-battle loot plus 50%. That's 60% right there. If you then come along here, you've got the first one for Lizardmen, income post-battle loot plus another 10%. So that's now 70%. And then if you come down to your Vampire Coast, you've got 20% for sacking actually as well. But then also, if you occupy the Awakening, 20% post-battle loot there as well, bringing that up to 80%. No, 90%. 90%. I stand corrected. 90%. So you can get 90% more income from post-battle loot. So you can get a lot from that. Your sacking, even more so. Obviously, your sacking, you gain 10% there. Now, obviously these get 50% from sacking, based on who you are sacking. Now in most cases you'll sack everything before you occupy it anyway, even things you might want to permanently occupy like Black Crag, because you can occupy it, recruit an army there to hold that settlement and turn it into like a permanent settlement that you're going to hold down, so you've got the benefits from Black Crag, and you can leave that army there permanently while you basically go off sacking with other armies. But you're getting 50% sacking there, 10% here. So that's 60% already. Oh, there's another 10% post-battle loot there. So post-battle loot, actually, 100% you can get it to now. 100%. That's rather insane. And so you've got another 20% of your sacking there. And so with your sacking there 20%, That's 50. So that makes it up to 80%. So you can get 80% more from sacking. Now bear in mind, Kugath Plaguefather's big plague for making him a sacking faction, that's 100% from sacking. But you've got to have that plague active. These are 3 technologies that you can get passively, basically. You can have them all the time. Because that's a tier 1. You need to hold down a thing for it. That's if, well, obviously based on who you're sacking of these ones, but you can unlock all of these people you want to sack. And then that's to everybody as well. Now this is the other thing. Bear in mind who these are telling you to sack. So Bretonnian, Southern Kingdoms, Dwarf Settlements. Empire, Kislev, Vampire Count, Greenskins. Dark Elf, High Elf, Lizardmen, Skaven, Tomb King, Vampire Coast. Cathay. None of these are asking you to sack Chaos Settlements or Norscan Settlements. So you don't really want to be fighting your own. There's no value in it. You want to be fighting away from home. So you want to be sacking the ones you've researched on these to make maximum use. So with the correct ones of these, plus your longer hauls, plus the first technology for Vampire Coast, blockading the Vampire Coast, you've got a hell of a lot of sacking potential in there. Now bear in mind also, you've got your skill tree from your lords. So you get 15% more sacking there. So if that's putting it at 80%, that brings up to 95% more from sacking. So you're only 5% off what Kugath can get from his plague. He doesn't have anything else, I believe. I'm not sure if there's any in his separate skill line. Upkeep reduction, that's always nice. But you can get 95% sacking increased and 100% post-battle loot. So there's Champions of War, there's Demise of Tilly, there's Secrets of Gork and Mork, and then there's Secrets of the Deep. So you've got your 20, that's 70, 80, 90. Did I miss one? Oh, 100. Lizardmen. So the ones that are tier 1s are really easy to go for, because they're just your first one. You just get those all the time. And it's not income from post-battle loot and fighting that faction. It's just income from post-battle loot. So every battle you fight is going to give you an absolute wad of cash. And then sacking a settlement as well. When you've got the researchers done, you're going to be getting a right load. Now, to getting access to things like, example, the Awakening is actually not the one in the ocean. It is Mr. Luther Harkins. You can come down here, past the High Elves and Bretonnia. You've got to be a little bit careful coming past here because obviously elves might just decide to declare war on you and jump out of a port and attack you. Obviously you're not going to do this straight away. You're going to get your better army first. But the Awakening, I believe, is down... Is it down here? Is it here? The Blue Heaven Mood Awakening to now. The Awakening's there. So Awakening's on the coast. And I believe it's a port as well. So you've got easy access to it. Now before you come to Awakening, you can actually get Black Crag. You can skirt the corner here. Round to this part. You can jump off somewhere here. And you can make your way across. And Black Crag is right here. So it's not that far from going round the ocean. And all you've got to do is, obviously you can sack it if you want to, or you can just occupy it if you want to. If you want to preserve it, try and preserve its level. But if you need money, obviously sack it. If you don't, then just occupy it. Occupy it, and then recruit an army there when you're able to do so. A decent army. And just leave that army in the area. They're just the guardians of that particular city. That's all they're there to do. Because with the garrison on top plus the army, you basically got 2 armies in one location. And if the AI is going to attack you, they're going to need more than 2 armies. They're going to need 3, 4, possibly even 5 to try and beat you. So, you can, hold the settlements that you take. Shouldn't be too hard. You're not looking to piss everybody off, although walking through Wurzag's land you might end up pissing Wurzag off, but be that as it may. But there's a way to occupy a lot of the settlements that you want from the coastline and it not be too difficult. I mean, you've got trade tariffs here. There is obviously a way to play Norsca without sacking, where you can basically occupy as many ports as you can, because Norsca gets a hell of a lot from ports. And then if you unlock that one, which is Occupy Karazakarak, you get plus 50% for more buildings. So I think you get 800 from a port, so you're going to be talking 1200 from a port, if you have that unlocked. But I don't think it's as good or as much the Norscan way as going and raiding. And you can also use things like, don't forget now, Norsca have got access to a sea lane up here, and it brings you down here. But then from there, you can make your way out into the ocean. And then it's seeing of who's around the area. So what have we got? We've got Tilly, we've got Karaz, Altdorf, that's more central, same as Drakenhof. Kislev. Kislev's actually kind of shit though, to be honest. Dark Elves, Nagron, that's other direction. Lothern, you can pass those on there. I mean, it's kind of cracks your missile strength. You're not going to really have any missile units. You're playing a predominantly melee army. Hexawattle, again, that's on the far side. Skaven Blight. Tomb Kings it's closer to, from this side. And then you've got your Awakening, and then obviously you've got Waging. But this is another way for you to break out and go sacking people. There are coastal settlements down here, along this coastline. Plus, as I said, you can hop over here. It's not far to Mr. Cetra. Mr. Cetra's in here. He should be around here somewhere. I believe, or is it further south? I can't remember. It's somewhere around there. I'm pretty sure he's around here somewhere. But you have a way to get to a lot of these settlements. There are some that are a bit more landlocked, like Altdorf, Castle Drakenhof. They're a bit more awkward to get to. But some of them are incredibly close to a coastline or even a port themselves. And you can use the sea lines to bounce around all over the place. And if it's, say it's a bit of a scare getting through past Orthwan, which it could be in some cases. Again, the sea lane that you could use over here, you could always go this direction, round past where Kingdoms of Ind are going to be, and you could jump over here, and you can bring yourself up here, because the sea lane's up here. And one of these, I believe it's this one, will take you to the far side of the world. Because that one doesn't take you that far. I believe that one takes you down into the bottom part, but one of them brings you over on the bottom coast of Lustria. So one's there. So that brings you out there, and you can always travel up here. And up here you've got sacking potentials as well, a lot of them. And it's unbelievable how easy it can be to just... You don't even have to really go inland and risk your armies in some cases. If you say worried about jumping inland and getting jumped on by like 4 or 5 armies or something, you can just sack a coastal settlement and bugger off. And if you've got all your research at that point, or most of them, you'll make that much from sacking. You won't need to worry about your money. You're going to operate in the red anyway. It won't matter. You're not going to make a massive amount anyway. It's a telltale sign when that's your biggest income building at 150. And that gives you income post-battle loot plus 30%, all armies in adjacent region. Now bear in mind what's said about post-battle loot. So if you have this, and you have all your research post-battle loot that gives you 100%, and you've got this, and then you've got it maxed out, and you fight an army in adjacent region, and you get 30% more, that's 130% income for post-battle loot. That suddenly becomes very fucking viable, because you're going to make a lot of money from one battle, especially if it's a big army with legendary loading. It's going to be worth a lot. Because you don't make much from your stuff, you don't. The only ones that are of value are the ports. The ports are the only ones that bring in decent money. Everything else is really substandard. So you want to focus on your recruiting stations. Figure out what units you want. Like, I never build this building. This building's garbage. More champions you want with both. Armoured Skin Wolves, really good. I'm not a massive fan of Mere Warriors, but I do like the Bale Fiends. The Bale Fiends are very, very good, and they give replenishment for your troops, which you do need. I don't take Trolls with Warfric, but I will with Throg. And then obviously you've got your War Mammoths and your War Mammoths War Shrines, and then maybe a Norscan Giant if you want one. But the Norscan Giants aren't as good as like the Warriors of Chaos variant, because they can make them a lot tougher, a lot more resistant to missiles. And then looking at buildings like this for recruitment, like cost reduction, more capacity, and then more recruit ranks might also be a good idea, because you want to maximise your potential of your recruiting. Defence can also help as well, because you are going to come under attack, and you want to hold down these stations. And obviously you want to make sure that you've got at least one town or city. If you do lose all of your towns and cities, then your armies are all going to take global attrition, which you can't afford to do. So you want to make sure that doesn't happen. So you want to hold down a few places where you can. I mean, if your army up here gets a bit lonely just guarding this, it can take a few surrounding things, but you're not looking to make too much trouble that you start getting bombarded with fucking Bretonnian armies and Empire armies and Kislev armies all coming over, sticking their nose in. If you stay relatively small and out the way up here, they won't really have reason to seek you out so much. And I've noticed a lot of them, for some reason, do tend to try and track and follow your faction leader. So wherever Warfric is, they generally try and chase him. They're not really bothered about your capital city. They want your legendary lord. And if Warfric's off gallivanting around the world, or Throg if you're playing Throg, raiding the sacking, whatever, they're not going to be going for your main settlements as hard. And in a lot of cases, when I've not got an army here, I've actually seen the AI walk away. They might attack it in some cases, and then sack it and walk away. They don't want to occupy it. They don't want to destroy it. And they go looking for your faction leader. I've had it where all of a sudden I've jumped back in the ocean. It was down here. I was fucking up this Lizman settlement or something down here, was it? In fact, no, it was Volkmar. It was down here. I was down here. There was a settlement here and a settlement here. I jumped back in the ocean. I've got a scout with me. Always take a scout with you. So you can scout ahead, jump on land beforehand before you attack somewhere, make sure there's not any armies too nearby within attack range. And then when I sacked that, I occupied it as well. I think I occupied the city, because it's just occupying at the time. If I can keep it, I can keep it. If I can't, I can't. My hero jumped back in the ocean and went here, and there were like 4 Empire armies here. 1 Bretonnian army further back, and I think it was like a Wood Elf army or something weird. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? So they were all coming this way at me. So basically, when they did, what happened was something really strange. 2 of the armies went into forced march and ended up like here, The other 2 were like back here. My army was really strong at this point, and they're all rank 9. So I jumped out and attacked them, and because they were in forced march, they both died and got wiped out. And I took very little damage. So when the next 2 armies came, they kind of gave pause, sort of thing. So then what they did is, they went down here instead and came onto the land. And they were moving to basically try and raid me, the settlement. I just went back into the ocean. The Wood Elf army was like, fuck that, and turned around. I just went down here. They went to attack this, as, you know, Empire does. I just kept going, kept sacking. I mean, at that point, I must have had, I think, like 600,000 gold in the treasury. I think I'd got like 4 armies roaming, and I think 3 defending key settlements, which were Black Crag, my main settlement up north, and I forget what the other one was. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure it was one of these ones. Or actually, was it Tilly? It might have been Tilly. It were with Tilly. I'd taken Tilly for the minus 15% upkeep, so the red wasn't quite as high, and I'd left an army on Tilly as well. For some reason, they got very good friends with Skaven, and then Ikit Club became massively fucking strong. But you can have a variety of things happen, but if you want to go and explore the world in a campaign, go sacking. Go sacking with Norscans. Go sack your little black heart out. Because you've got to occupy, loot, razor, sack 35 settlements, and attain level 2 allegiance with any god. So you've got to get these where you're basically raising things in your god's favour. That's not too hard to do. It's not too hard to do. So you can always go inland for a bit and raise some things to your god. Just make sure that you sack it first. Now what's that? 80 level 3 allegiance and defeat all challengers. Before you know it, you've done 30 though. You really have. And it's just so easy to make money with those researchers once you've got them. The early part of the campaign, you're always sketchy. That's the same with almost every faction though. Every faction has a rougher time at the start. Some not so much as others, but with the money they can make from post-battle loot and sacking, very quickly your treasury is enormous. So you have no trouble. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you've got any questions about it, hit me up in the comments. If you are new again, please subscribe. I'm trying to get on the partner program. And if you like the video, give it a like. Take care everyone, have a great day, and I'll speak to you all soon.